Hey CBC, Pastor Josh here. If you're not a member of Centreville Baptist Church, if maybe someone you know passed this on to you, if you're just someone walking through a difficult time and someone passed this on to you so that you can be encouraged through Scripture, I'm glad that you're watching this today. While everything is shut down with the coronavirus, I've been sharing some devotions and some words of encouragement with my church family, and I've been living for the last several months in the book of 1 Peter, so I want to share just a little bit of what God is teaching me with you, and wherever, however, and whenever this finds you, I hope that this is encouraging to you today. So today in 1 Peter, we are looking at 1 Peter 1. We're going to be reading verses 6, 7, 8, and 9. And I'm just going to pull out just a couple of things, couple nuggets for you to think on and words to encourage you today. So 1 Peter 1, 6 says this, "In all this you greatly rejoice, though now for a little while you may have had to suffer grief in all kinds of trials. These trials have come, so that the proven genuineness of your faith, of greater worth than gold, which perishes even though refined by fire, may result in praise, glory, and honor when Jesus Christ is revealed. Though you have not seen him, you love him. And even though you do not see him now, you believe in him and you are filled with an inexpressible and a glorious joy, for you are receiving the end result of your faith, the salvation of your souls." There's so much here, but let me just pull out one little nugget for you. And let me set it up this way. If you're a fan of movies, movie franchises in particular, whether it's Star Wars or Harry Potter, there's always a wise old sage. And so it could be, if you're Harry Potter, it's Professor Dumbledore, or it's Star Wars, it's Obi-Wan Kenobi. There's kind of a wise person towards the end of the movie or at a critical point. Whether your protagonist, whether it's Luke Skywalker or Harry Potter, they go to the wise old sage and they get some words of wisdom and they kind of let you in on some of the deeper meaning. They put some of the pieces together. That's a little bit of what Peter is doing here, because he's helping Christians figure out how you can rejoice through the midst of sufferings. He said, "In all this you greatly rejoice, though now for a little while you may have had to suffer grief in all kinds of trials." And that's something that every Christian walks through. It could be something where the economy takes a downturn, or you lose a loved one, or something, sets you back, or you're having just a rough time. And it's so hard for us to figure out, where is God? Why is God allowing this to happen? If God is such a good God, then why is this happening? And sometimes we don't question God directly. We just wish we could put some of the pieces together and have a little bit more of an understanding. Well, Peter does that here. He gives us, put some of those pieces, and he helps us understand how we can actually rejoice through trials. So if you've ever walked through trials or difficult times, or if you are walking through some right now, I hope this can help you. The key is this. When he says, "These have come," in verse 7, "so that the proven genuineness of your faith may result in praise and glory and honor when Jesus Christ is revealed." He's talking about the proven genuineness of our faith as the most important thing. And it comes from a fascinating Greek word. It's from the Greek word dokimion, and the Latin version of that is actually where we get the word crucible from. And again, that's an ancient word which we don't use today. That was used in the Middle Ages when you were forging swords and you had to melt hot metal and form it into different things, whether it's you're making rakes or plows or swords or armor, that sort of thing. A crucible is a melting pot used for extremely hot chemical reactions. And so what Peter is saying is that these sufferings, these trials that you're actually going through, they're serving as a crucible for your faith. Like if you wanted to refine fire, if you wanted to refine gold through fire, what you had to do is, in olden days, you had to heat it up to the point where it would melt, and then the impurities would rise to the surface, and then you would skim off the impurities, and then that gold would harden again, and it would be pure. It would be not just gold, but pure gold. And he compares our faith not just to gold, but something far more valuable than gold. And in the same way that gold has to be refined by fire, in the same way our faith, something much greater than gold, it has to be refined in the same way. So why can we rejoice? Well, because God is doing something in us and through us. that is far greater than even the pain of the trial itself. So let me give you 2 words of encouragement today. And here's why you can rejoice even in the midst of trials and suffering. The first is this: suffering serves as a crucible for your faith. Now, I wish, just like everyone else, that your faith could be strengthened without having to go through any of the hard work. I mean, that's why it's so popular to take a weight loss pill as opposed to actually watching what you eat and going to the gym. We want the easy way out. Faith, there are no shortcuts to faith. If you want a stronger faith, you can't get it without suffering, without trials. That's actually the means to the end. It's the way that God designs and designed your faith to grow. And remember that there is nothing more valuable than your faith. That's the second word of encouragement. Faith is the most valuable thing that you will ever possess. So think about it for when you're in school. You give up a lot of different things. You give up time, energy, you stay up late, you study, you read. There's times you could slack off, but you got to stay and you got to finish that paper. You're giving up something, some small amount of freedom, some small things that you could do throughout the day so that you can get something greater because you want to graduate from high school, or you want to get that college degree, or you want to get that graduate degree. And you realize that that degree is worth all the pain and the sacrifice and the suffering you have to go through. In the same way, Peter is saying that our faith is the most valuable thing, that your faith is the most valuable thing you will ever possess. And no matter what you have to sacrifice to strengthen and grow that faith, it's worth it. It's more valuable than gold. And so that's why we can rejoice, because God is taking what's happening to you and He's using it to refine something inside of you. So again, that may not take all the pain of suffering away, but know that there is a purpose behind the pain, because God is taking what's happening to you to refine something inside of you, to refine your faith. And I hope that encourages you today. Thanks. God bless. And I look forward to seeing you again and gathering together as a church family very, very soon. Take care and God bless.